Hello, my name is Andy. I'm TK 1287 of the Neon City Garrison, and I'm here to demonstrate to you guys how to dye black Jodhpur boots white to be used on your Stormtrooper costumes. First, we're going to need some acetone. This is just Goo Gone Extreme, but it contains quite a bit of acetone, so it should work fine. But if you guys have pure acetone, it'll work much better than this, and you'll get the job done a lot faster. Also, you'll need just a glass to keep the acetone in, along with cotton balls. And if you'd like, you could use some Q-tips, but you really don't have to since it isn't that detailed of a project. And also, we're going to need some white leather dye and or paint, depending on whatever you want to use. I'd recommend getting 2 bottles of this, even though I doubt I'm going to use the full one on this boot. And also, you're going to need a paintbrush. This is a shader size 8. And hopefully with this tutorial, you could turn this into this. And you see the finish there came out, I think, very well for a boot that was dyed white, which was originally, this. But here we go. And here we are again, ready to start dyeing the boots. Now you first need to start putting on your rubber gloves because the acetone well, it won't do any good for your hands. But what you want to do is take about 4 to 5 cotton balls, stick them in the bottom of here, fill this up just a little bit, not much at all, you just want to get them wet. And then you need to take another cotton ball, mash it down. You want to mash it down here, make sure you get them all wet, not too wet, you don't want them to drip. You just want it to feel wet. And what you want to do with the boot here is you want to start rubbing off the finish. You want to rub this pretty hard, but even rubbing it softly, you will notice that it lost its sheen after it dries. But as you can see, it's removing the finish and the paint, and the more you do this, the boot will start to become white. And also, don't worry about going through cotton balls too fast, because you will go through probably around 50 of them throughout this whole boot. 50 to maybe 150, depending on how much you want to work on it. But as you can see here, it is taking off quite a bit of it. Even though you won't see it yet, you're going to need to go through quite a bit of this. But you also don't need to get the boot perfectly finished, because it's just going to be covered with the paint anyway, and since we're just stormtroopers, we're not supposed to look perfect. And if you'd want to look perfect, you'd go buy some CA boots, but I assume that you don't, because you went and bought some Jodhpurs. And also, if you want to use Q-tips can, I'm mashing this down in here just to get the end of the Q-tip wet. Q-tips can help around the edging here, where the cotton ball won't really work. But also, since this isn't a highly detailed project, you might not really need to do this. And you do go through Q-tips really fast. So just keep going on with this process until you could actually see the white leather underneath. but you don't need to make it perfectly white, because you just need to make sure that the finish and a bit of the paint is removed, so you can go ahead and start laying on your own paint. So just keep going on with that, and I'll start up here in a minute. And here we are now. I've worked on the boot quite a bit, and as you can see, I got quite a bit off in this section. Same with on the back, but not as much. I also worked on the front, but you can't really see it. Just doesn't pick up on the webcam, but here is like the perfect tone you want the boot to be at. So what I have here is my shader, size 8 brush, and the paint. And what you want to do is just, apply it like you would any other paint, but you need to press down pretty hard when you do this. You want it to be really smooth, and you're going to layer this quite a bit, because even 5 layers might not be enough. Remember to put it on really thin and spread it out quite a bit, because that is what will keep it smooth. And around the edging here, you just kind of want to dab it a little and just brush it in, just slightly. That way, keep it as much off the sole as you can, but if it gets on there, no big deal. And here's your first coat with this section. Just keep up with it. On cam it looks really good on the first coat, but when you do it in person you will see that there is definitely a lot more work to do here. Hello again, and after 3 hours of working on this, well, just the dyeing part, here's the end result. Here we have a nice, smooth, and uniform finish on the leather. Only thing that hasn't been done yet is dyeing of the elastic, and that could be done any way you please. But here's the end result. I think it turned out very well, and I think that the accurate Jodhpur boots for the Stormtrooper costume are much better than the CAs. So remember, when you first start this project, you need some acetone, cotton balls, Q-tips if you would prefer them. You'd need a glass to keep the cotton balls and the acetone in there. And when it comes to dyeing, you're going to need the leather paint right here. I only used 1 bottle on both of these boots. And also you're going to need a paintbrush, which with me I used a shader, size 8. And remember to wear gloves during the whole process, because acetone on your hands after a long time, not a very good thing. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed my video, and I hope to see you guys on the boards.